Because I had fallen down to the point to where I'm going to tell you something. If you ever see me where I'm spending 8 hours in a chair watching TV, it's time probably to kill me because I have given up on life. And that's where I was. And something said, why do you let yourself be talked out of your blessing? Grab a hold of this thing. Start getting up. So the first thing that I did, I turned off TV. And I started trying to walk around. It hurt like crap. But I decided at that point, Zeke, that I was not sitting there and I was not going to give up. I decided that I've got to do something. I don't care how bad it hurts. I don't care what. Something's got to give. Even to the point of where I have to go to the doctor and I need help. And so here we are. I'm getting better. But this whole thing about why did you give it up? Why did you give it up? Why did you let go of your blessing? I see so many people that I watch that I can tell by looking at them at one time or another, God's hand was upon them. You could tell. You could tell God's hand was upon them. But something happened, and they gave it up. I can remember stories as a young Christian, Brad, where I would go out and try to counsel people. I have nightmares, and I equate some of the nightmares to some of the conversations that I had with people. If I can give you a graph with which to draw something that would tell you the point of embarrassment, I have got this little graph that I keep in my mind of embarrassing moments, the most stupidest, dumbest, embarrassing thing I've ever did in my whole life. And I rate everything by that scale. This scale is that one night, we're out going to a party. We found these girls, and we're heading off this party. Don't ask me how it happened, but we ended up on, was it not 286, but was it, what's that road goes in front of college that crosses over and goes out towards this way? It runs right in front of college, stoplight, come and go right there, and it keeps going straight. What is that road? Donaghy. At that bridge, at 3 o'clock in the morning, we stopped and had an American Bandstand dance-off right there. And these girls, my buddy was out there dancing, and I even got danced too. If you understand about me, I don't dance in public. I did watch Footloose one time, and I did go outside and dance to Footloose because I thought I was a dancer because the dude Footloose do it. I thought I could do it too. I had that moment for a brief moment that I did my Footloose period for like an hour. After that, I was over my Footloose thing in my life. But Dory, from that moment forward, every once in a great while, I will remember getting out there and dancing in the road. And it sends goosebumps down my arm of embarrassment. It's like, what the? As a young Christian, I've done and I've said things and I've done things that sends me to that level of like, what the mess was you thinking? But I was a young Christian. I was on fire. One of the early things that I discovered was the power of thought. Entire business books have been written, the power of positive thinking. I imagine that there is an equally, and it's resonated within the books of power of positive thinking, but as well, we have to understand the power of negative thinking and where it comes from. Because what happens when we start thinking negative? It just builds up, don't it, Dory? It just accumulates, it grows, it gets stronger, it gets bigger. And the next thing we know, it's not just all on us, it's on our attitude. It's how we walk around. We've seen it. You know, like Zeke this morning. Zeke walked in and he says, well, how you feeling? I've got a problem, which we all know. I got several of them, but one of my problems is it doesn't make a difference. Whatever you say, in my mind, I can relate to something. It's either a song lyric or it's a book, or it's something that happened in my life. And if y'all ever see me laughing because you say something, it's because in my mind I want to quote a song or go along with it. So Zeke says, well, how you feeling? And I kind of chuckled because there was this old woman. She was a very angry, bitter old woman. And everybody knew she was bitter. She lived in the projects behind Mom and Daddy's house. And I liked her because she was mean. So what do you think I would do with her? I'd pick on her. And so she'd sit there and she'd cuss me out and I'd just make fun of her. But we liked each other. I'd sit there with her. I was the only person who could sit with her because I didn't just, she'd say something. I'd say, well, how are you feeling today? She'd say, my fingers, blanket. How do you think I'm supposed to feel? So when Zeke asked me today, well, how do you feel? I instantly think about her. I had asked Mama one time, why was she so angry? Now, she was like 200 years old, Kai. And so I was like, why is she so angry? She said, well, she has a story. Well, what's the story? Well, I want to hear the story. What made her so angry? It's like my sister one time. She said, I hate you, but I just don't know why I hate you. I've forgotten why I hate you. All I know is that I hate you. True story. How would you know you hate somebody, but you can't remember why you hate them? Well, this woman, she hated the world. Well, come to find out, she was married. And this was probably back in the early 1900s already. And when the baby came out wrong shape. And that didn't happen. That did not happen back then around here. Needless to say, he left, the whole world fell apart. She gave the baby up for adoption. And from that point forward, she hated the world. Hated everybody, and her existence just changed. The question is that, what do you think was going to happen? Sin has this thing, and the Bible says that our sins will cry out from the rocks. It will bring us out. The big question is that how do you let you or others talk you out of your blessing? The focus passage today is in Exodus 3, Exodus 4, but the focus is on verse 10. Exodus 3 and 4, it tells a story. Remember God appeared to Moses, right? Y'all remember the story? We're all good Christians. Huh?
The burning bush.
Yes. And he said, go do these things, lay all these things out. Somebody go to verse 10. And God was telling him, first thing he says, what do you have? And he says, throw your stick down on the ground. He threw it down and it became a snake. What's the story say? It says Moses ran from it. How many times do we run from God's blessings? In other words, God performs a miracle in our life, we run from it. God told him to do it. First thing is, can you imagine him having a conversation, Brad, with God? If I was having a conversation with God, I think that would enter into another realm of existence, wouldn't it? Think about just having a conversation with God. Can you consider the ramifications of that right there? Has anybody really had a conversation with God? I've not. I believe that I hear the Holy Spirit, but I also believe it when I still tell myself that I'm young. So, Lance, is it possible that I lie to myself? Some of us still believe that we're still good looking. Another obvious lie. Some of us believe we still got lots of money. We got time to earn these things. Then all of a sudden it's taken away from you. You realize that's a lie. So then what is left? The truth. And we don't want to face the truth. So here we are. We got this story of Moses. And Moses, like I said, alone having a conversation with God. But Brad, don't you think if God told Moses, or if God told you, he says, hey Brad, what do you got in your hand? Crescent wrench. Well, throw that sucker on the ground. You threw it on the ground, and it turned into a mini bike. Well, you probably wouldn't run from it unless you've worked on mini bikes. You pull up in somebody's yard, and they've got a Tao 125 or Tao 110, which is a Chinese four-wheeler sitting in your front yard tore apart, and you're a mechanic, and you pull up here just to see them. What is that odds are of you being conscripted into fixing this stuff? It's like being a body man and somebody or being a concrete guy. You pull up somebody's yard and here they got a cement mixer, Lance, and 25,000 bags of concrete, and they're going to pour this thing one by one. You just happen to walk up. They say, hey, Lance, what do you do chiropractor. I mean, think about that. But all of a sudden, here it is. You see, he throws it on the ground. Then God does other miracles. But after God says all these things, somebody on Exodus 4, verse 10.
Oh, 4 verse 10?
Uh-huh.
But Moses said to the Lord, O my Lord, I am not eloquent either in the past or since you have spoken to your servant, but I am slow of speech and of tongue.
So, first thing is that how many times, so here I am, I'm arguing with God about my blessing. First thing is, how many times have y'all heard me say this right here in this church? I cannot tell you the times since this whole thing happened at my work that every week God has provided me something in some way or another. God has always given me something. How many times y'all heard me say that?
Yeah.
How many times have y'all also heard me say that, man, I've been thinking, well, I need to find me a job. I need to do this. Because why am I looking for a job? Because do I not believe that God's going to take care of me? Do I believe, or maybe do I think that, well, God's going to get tired of carrying me? Maybe I want to carry myself. Maybe I want to say that, look what I did. At some point or another, we pull ourselves out of God's blessings and we want to try to manufacture it ourselves.
Make it about us.
Is it Kai? Is it self-sufficiency? Is it arrogance? Is it pride?
Pride. I mean, I'm under the thought that everything stems from pride, because sin is literally
It's
us
the original
going
sin.
against God, and
Yeah.
any sin falls under that.
So here I am. I'm talking myself out because God has proven He's taken care of me through all this stuff, Dory. He's proven it. Years ago, He told me, He says, I will give you what you need and what you want, but will you take what I give you? How many times have we seen that? Countless times. But yet, what does Monty do? Monty still goes out and does it his way, because apparently I still ain't learned this thing. Which brings us back to the original conversation, Carrie, because this is why we're kind of stuck at this point, because we're still trying to do it ourselves. There has to be this breakthrough. And I was telling y'all, when I started this whole thing out, and it said that I'm reading this new book, but this guy was walking through the church and he was laying hands on people. You know, it's like, and I don't mean it the wrong way, but when you see an older person, you know, 70s, 80s years old, odds are they're in financial duress, they've got kids, and oftentimes you'll see the grandparents are raising the grandkids or raising the great-grandkids, and they're taking on somebody's burdens or whatever it might be. Then this prophet comes to them and lays hands, God is going to deliver you from your cares. He knew people that age. Odds are people that age have trouble. They have stupid kids. How rare is it to find somebody in life that don't have stupid kids or stupid grandkids?
Not a one.
Huh?
Not a one.
Not a one. So it's pretty fair, easy guess if you see somebody in church crying, oh, God is going to deliver. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching all this stuff, and all of a sudden, Brad, this guy walks up to me and he tells everybody else what's going on in their life, and he's going to do this, he's going to heal you, he's going to heal you. And he walks up to me and he says, you're a seer. Fantastic. I know what I am now. He says, but what you see, you won't be able to tell. What do you say? If I see something and I can't tell somebody about what I see, what the mess is that for? What is that? Why can I not share this gift? What is the deal? And the thing is that I've come to understand it later on. But like last night, this book is starting to kind of open up and reveal some of the things that I feel. And he talked about, y'all hear me talk about paths. We're all on paths. But he said the true path is not one that can be spoken of. So in other words, it's something that is not, the path is not spoken of. You can't tell somebody what this path is because you can't describe this path because this is the path. He says, I make ways that you did not know. And that's what it's talking about. But the thing is that we want a clear path. We want a defined path. And why do we want a clear and defined path?
You don't want to go the wrong way.
Is it that, or is that we really want it easy? We want it handed to us.
Well, that's.
I would succumb to, the thing is, it's kind of like what you and I talked about when we first prayed for your foot. But you also prayed for the wisdom that if God don't heal you from it, then give you the grace to deal with it and help you to understand why. Maybe you have another reason down the road for why. But all these things are, they evolve and they're going on, but we've got things that are happening within us. So here is Moses. Moses is in this state of God has just called him out. God just appeared. I mean, let's just be honest with you. If you're ever walking and you hear a bush speaking to you, at some point you got to realize something's going on, wouldn't you, Erica? If you started hearing voices going on in your house, you're gone. Because you watch enough Facebook videos and YouTube videos of these hauntings and stuff like that, you start seeing dishes moving, you're gone. But all of a sudden, Moses, he hangs around and he talks to this dude. He takes his shoes off. God lays his whole plan out to him. Nothing personal, guys, but Carrie, if you've seen all this, would you believe it's legit? Probably so. And then in the face of ultimate legitness, would you lie? God has just showed him, but did you know that Moses just lied? He said what now? What did he say, Kai?
Pardon your servant, Lord. I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue.
So basically he said, hey man, you're going to forgive me. It's like Brad. First thing is, Brad, it's really a miracle, and it's amazing because I reflected upon last night really deeply. I seriously did. And it reflects upon, I got you. Because I really wanted, and I won't, because the thing is that my focus for a long time has been work and all these other things, and I'm trying to change my focus. I've got a chance to impact my grandkids. I've got one grandkid. I mean, you know how hard it is to sit there and you see your one grandson that's riding a bicycle out in the yard by himself, wanting somebody to be out there with him. All the rest of them are in the house playing video games. But there's this one. So what do you want to do? I want to cultivate him away from that. But not only that, Lance, I want to make it to where these other kids see him having this huge amount of fun, and then they want to do it.